As we continue to recognize Hispanic Heritage Month, we wanted to look into the buying power of Latinos and the importance to supporting Hispanic businesses here in the state, and ultimately to remember that their value in Texas is not only for us here in the state, but throughout the nation. J.R. Gonzales is Vice President of the Texas Association of Mexican American Chamber of Commerce. JR, is the buying power of Latinos underestimated?
Very much so. Very underestimated. Just to give you an idea, according to the latest census, which just came out, the buying power of the Hispanic population in the continental U.S. is $2.6 trillion. 2.6. That's very significant. If you were to get all the Hispanics in the U.S., combine them into their own GDP, we would be the seventh or eighth largest economy in the world, just behind India. But I say that I think it's a little bit more because this is according to the Census Bureau, and we all know that the census does not count Latinos accurately. There's always an underaccount. And this doesn't account for all the little businesses that are going on the side, the little taquerias, the pulgas, the little abuelitas that are little grandmothers that are making tamales on the side. So you combine that and that underground economy, and it's going to be much larger. But it's a very significant part of the overall economy in this country, and especially here in Texas.
You know, why should we continue to support those smaller businesses or even bigger scale Hispanic businesses? How does that role impact our economy?
Well, I think you should support the businesses not just because they're Hispanic, but support the businesses where you get good products and good service. The fact that there's close to 700,000 Hispanic-owned businesses in Texas alone is significant. I feel that one of the reasons that Texas economy is so strong is directly due to the Hispanic businesses, Latino-owned businesses in this state and in this country. Those businesses employ people, they pay taxes, they add to the city tax base. They're contributing in a lot of different ways. And if in fact, especially during Hispanic Heritage Month, beyond your regular restaurants, if you want to really help out, seek out Hispanic-owned business, try their services. If you're not happy, go to somebody else. But the fact that there's 700,000 Hispanic-owned businesses across the state, and in Dallas County alone, you have a significant amount of Hispanic-owned businesses. Try them. It helps. A rising tide lifts all boats, and if all businesses do well, so will your community.
Sometimes we forget that Hispanic heritage is our Texas heritage. We forget that the border wasn't necessarily always on the U.S. side. It crossed into Mexico.
Yes, Texas was once Mexico. And one of the things I like to point out to people, if you think about it, as far as the contributions, horses did not come over on the Mayflower. It was the Spanish conquistadores that brought them into Mexico. And it was the Mexicans that trained the horses, the Mexican vaqueros that actually showed the Anglo settlers in the early days of Stephen F. Austin how to be cowboys, how to use the equipment. After all, rodeo isn't an English word. So the fact that Hispanic population, in this case, the Mexican population, has had a huge impact on this country and continues to do so every day.
What are some of the things that we don't read about in our history books?
Oh, there's a lot of things that you don't read about in your history books. One of the things is, Hispanics are a very proud and a very brave and patriotic group of people. Per capita, more Latinos have been awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor than any other group. We also go back, Latinos have been fighting for this country since before this country was a country. In fact, it was 1979 that George Washington, in the middle of the Revolutionary War, needed food and money. So he reached out to the Spanish governor of Louisiana, whose name was Galvez, which Galveston is now named after, asking for some help. So Governor Galvez, who is actually very familiar with all the longhorn cattle in South Texas, which at that point was Mexico, actually sent Spanish pesos to George Washington for help, and had over 10,000 head of cattle go from South Texas, what is now South Texas, to the Eastern Seaboard to feed George Washington's troops. These are made up of Spanish soldiers, Tejano ranchers, Tejano vaqueros, indigenous Indians. But a lot of those folks, after making that first cattle drive cross-country journey decided to stay and fight alongside George Washington's troops in the Revolutionary War. So Latinos have been here forever. The first admiral of the United States was from Spain, Spanish descent. The first congressional medal, the first Purple Heart recipient was a Chilean in there in the Civil War. So as far as Tejanos, Latinos, Hispanics, we've been here for a long time, since before this country was a country. And as I said, continue to contribute in so many different ways.
Absolutely. Being a part of the Texas Association of Mexican American Chamber of Commerce, what excites you about the future of Hispanic businesses?
The thing that excites me most is the businesses are continuing to grow. The population is significant. In fact, for the past two census, past 2 decades, over 50% of this country's growth can be directly attributed to the Hispanic population. But we also have to look at it from a workforce standpoint. Nationally, Hispanics make up 63% of the overall workforce in this country. And in the state of Texas, it's 64%. So how can an economy, how can a society prosper without workers and without labor? And the fact that for a civilian workforce, we're not talking about military, civilian workforce alone in the state of Texas, 63% here in the state of Texas is actually Hispanic workers. And if I'm not mistaken, in Dallas County alone, you have about a 40% Hispanic rate, and about 68% of your workforce is Hispanic.
JR, thank you so much for your time and sharing some of these facts with our listeners. I'm sure they enjoyed and thought it was just as interesting as I did. So I really appreciate the time.
Well, Chris, I hope they did. And just remember that salsa outsells ketchup for a reason. Okay.